I've got this question. And Harpreet, you mentioned that you study luck. You said it in your podcast, and I think in some office hours also. And I've been reading these two books right now, Thinking in Bets and The Psychology of Money. And the common thing they both have is that luck is there. I mean, if there's an outcome, there must be luck. And since you studied it, my question is, how do you apply luck into your decision making?
So you just factor for things that are not going to be in your control, right? So anytime I make a decision, I just acknowledge that there are things outside of my control and there are things that I can't know will happen. And I optimize on the things that are within my control, the things that I can influence, and move the needle on those as much as possible, right? So that's kind of how I factor into my decision making, right? And uh, to the point that Austin was making earlier about not being attached to that outcome, is I kind of imagine in my head, okay, if I take these sets of actions, here's what I think the probability distribution is going to look like for potential outcomes, right? And this is not like the frequentist approach to statistics or probability. This is just probability in the um a s- subjective definition of it, right? That it is my personal belief, like, kind of like a Bayesian reasoning type of way, Bayesian epistemology, um, where it's like, okay, this is my belief that these are the potential outcomes that could happen from this decision, right? So if I take this set of actions, then, in 1,000 parallel universes, I would imagine that 40% of them will have a positive outcome, 10% of them will have a neutral outcome, and, 50% chance of having a unfair outcome or unfavorable outcome. I mean, that's kind of how I use it in my thinking, my decision making is, okay, what can I influence? What is directly in my control? What are the things that I can personally impact? Optimize for those things, those actions, those activities, consider what potential things can happen, and then assign a probability weighted distribution to each one of those kind of potential outcomes. And that's how I think about things. Um, so, how do I account for luck in there? Um, I just realized that luck plays a factor in anything, right? There are things just beyond my control that just will happen. Um, and if they do happen, then, well, shit, man, I can't be bad because I did everything that was in my control. So, I don't know if that answered your question or was that being too roundabout. Let me know.
It does. It's a great answer. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, when it comes to luck, there's like different types of luck, right? There's the dumb luck, blind luck, right? Things just happen, right? I can go buy a lottery ticket and just win the lottery, whatever. Like that's just dumb luck, blind luck. I was born in the United States of America as opposed to India or Fiji. That's dumb luck for me because now I've got a bunch more opportunities than other people do. Um, then there's the fortune favors the bold type of luck, that hustle luck, where you're just out there doing a bunch of things, kicking up dust. Things are combining, things are happening, and you're able to capitalize on these opportunities that are presented because of the actions that you're taking. Then there's a luck that is um, type 3 luck, which is more about becoming really, really good in a field, right? That chance favors the prepared mind. That's a cliche that goes with that, where you just really, really understand a field so well, where you can see opportunities happening that other people can't, right? Where you see things that are developing that other people won't be able to put together. That's kind of like where Ben's at with that, right? He's got that type 3 type of luck because he's way on the cutting edge of stuff. He could see things before any of us could. And then there's type 4 luck, which is like the most unique, interesting type of luck, where that's you just develop a unique brand, a unique mindset, a unique reputation, where that people come to you now when they want to do something, because you've been able to create this type of luck for yourself, and that's the type of luck you want to maximize.
I think luck is relative too. So sometimes you can regret mistakes made in the past. Like, crap, I didn't do this job and now they IPO'd and I'm an idiot. Like, so you don't want to dwell on that. And when it really comes down to it, we are all lucky to be here today, breathing, able to communicate on this call. And the more you really own that, the reality, how lucky you are to just be here, the more you're willing to take risks. And so they've done studies to show that people that intentionally leave their jobs from their, to pursue new opportunities on their own, they will make more money in their career than people that wait to be promoted within a company. And so being bold, it's hard to be bold. Like, why would you ever risk losing your job or switching jobs? What if you join a new company and or preaches join a new company? What if it turns out you hate the culture? Like, what if like 6 months from now you're like, there are more a-holes in there than you realize, and like there's always a risk. But the more you do this, the more luck will come your way. The more people you meet, people in your network are a huge factor in luck when it comes to startups, jobs. A lot of people, a lot of the most exciting positions that are offered are one-to-one. Like, hey, new company, come work. Hey, new company, come work. Hey, new company, hey, I know you, come work here.
Absolutely, man. Russell, I like this thing you put here, talking about luck is a fallacy. Perhaps go for it.
Yeah, so I'll just unpack it as a fallacy. If we're trying to look at it in very logical terms and say there's random chance that happens everywhere in the universe, outside of planet Earth, but we experience it directly on planet Earth. Then there's the ability to observe, and then let's say there is serendipity as well, where things just coalesce for a greater benefit than you would expect in normal distribution. So I posit then that those with a more positive disposition are likely to observe more objectively and more closely to things that are going on around them. And with that random chance, they'll likely be able to find things that can provide a positive outcome to them more than someone with a negative outlook. Say someone's really angry or upset about something, and just filled with something that's consuming their mind, they won't be taking in everything around them, so they'll more likely go beyond something. So an external observer might look at them and say, well, the more positive person was lucky because they found this thing, and the negative person was unlucky because they didn't. Yet it may be directly attributed to the way that they were observing at the time.
Yeah, absolutely love that, dude. That's actually very similar to what Christian Bush talks about in his book, The Serendipity Mindset, which, by the way, if you haven't read that book, go read the book, but also listen to the podcast episode that we did together. We talk about this a lot as well. But very much so, just having that open mindset, the open to new possibilities is very, very helpful. There's another book, I think it's called The Luck Factor by Martin something. I can't remember his name. But they had this study where they had two people, one who was self-described himself as lucky, one who self-described themselves as unlucky, and they had them both go into like a coffee shop. And then on the way to the coffee shop, the same path, they had like dropped money there, so that, it was there. And then they set up the situation at the coffee shop in such a way where you were forced to sit down with somebody and start like a conversation or whatever, right? And the lucky person found the money on the ground, sat down, started talking to whoever was next to them, and realized that this person is like a businessman, can help them, launch some product or something like that. Whereas the unlucky person just totally stepped right over the 10-pound note that was on the ground and completely shut themselves off to any new opportunities that were going to be present in the coffee shop.